don't just want the news, they want the truth. What others hide, I bring to you with evidence. Politics, corruption, human rights. No filters, no fear, just facts. I don't stop until the system shakes. Hello and welcome to Trending Daily. This is Makhdoom Shahabuddin. In a comprehensive and detailed press conference, Director General Inter-Services Public Relations Lieutenant General Ahmed Sharif Chaudhry addressed the nation on the country's overall security situation, counter-terrorism operations, governance challenges, and the ongoing dynamic in Balochistan and across Pakistan's borders. The DG ISPR made it clear at the very outset that a false perception is being deliberately created by hostile elements that the security situation in Balochistan is rapidly deteriorating. He stated that the objective of the briefing was to present hard facts, dismantle toxic narratives, and answer three fundamental questions. What is the problem? What is actually happening on the ground? And what measures are being taken to address it? Addressing the counter-terrorism operational capability of the armed forces, the military spokesman revealed that a total of 40,348 intelligence-based operations have been conducted across Pakistan during the year 2026 so far. Out of these, a massive chunk, more than 31,000 operations, took place in Balochistan alone, alongside 7,177 operations in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. On average, Pakistan's security forces, comprising the Pakistan Army, Frontier Corps, Police, Civil Armed Forces, and intelligence agencies, are conducting nearly 194 to 200 intelligence-based operations every single day. Operations are taking place virtually every hour across the length and breadth of the nation. Looking at the terrorism statistics for 2026, a total of 3,145 terrorist incidents were recorded. Breaking down the regions, Khyber Pakhtunkhwa saw 1,971 incidents. Balochistan experienced 1,148 incidents, while the rest of Pakistan accounted for 26 incidents. In response to these actions, Pakistan's security forces have eliminated 2,084 confirmed terrorists so far this year. This equates to an average of around 10 terrorists killed every day. Comparing this to 2025, when 2,597 terrorists were eliminated throughout the entire year, the 2,048 terrorists neutralized in 2026 demonstrate that counter-terrorism performance and operational capacity are improving significantly year after year. The battle against violent extremism has come at a steep human cost. The DG ISPR revealed that 819 brave Pakistanis have embraced martyrdom during 2026. This sacrifice includes 303 personnel from the Pakistan Army, 195 officers and jawans from the police and civil armed forces, and 322 innocent civilians. On average, around 4 Pakistanis embrace martyrdom every single day. However, the military spokesperson highlighted a decisive shift in operational efficiency. Back in 2023, security forces lost more personnel than the number of terrorists killed. In 2024, that dynamic began to shift. By 2025, security forces were killing 2 terrorists for every martyr. And in 2026, that kill ratio has improved further to approximately 2.5 terrorists eliminated for every single martyr. Regarding suicide attacks, 28 incidents have taken place this year. The DG ISPR explicitly stated that the majority of these suicide bombers were Afghan nationals. Operations have resulted in the arrest of the elimination of several Afghan citizens, including individuals directly associated with Afghan security structures. Explaining why terror incidents appear to be spiking, the military spokesman outlined several key reasons. Terrorists now realize that there will be no negotiations, no concessions, and zero appeasement. Pakistan has adopted an uncompromising, tougher stance. Security forces have become far more proactive, and an increased frequency of intelligence-based operations naturally leads to a higher number of direct engagements. Furthermore, the Afghan Taliban regime continues to actively facilitate and support terrorist networks, turning diplomacy into a shield for cross-border militancy. The DG ISPR warned that terrorists and their facilitators will face consequences 100 times greater, sending a clear message that terrorism will be met with iron-fisted resolve. Moving to the fundamental nature of the nation, the DG ISPR stated that Pakistan is not yet a hard state. He defined a hard state not as one run by the military, but as a society governed by the absolute and equal application of the law, where the constitution is supreme over everyone, no elite stands above accountability, and no privileged class enjoys immunity. Security and long-term stability can only be guaranteed when the law applies equally to all. Emphasizing the relationship between citizens and the state, the DG ISPR stressed that citizens often demand rights while ignoring their constitutional obligations. Pointing to Article 5 of the Constitution, he reminded that the nation that loyalty to the state and obedience to the Constitution are basic duties. Rights naturally follow the fulfillment of core responsibilities, and every citizen's first and final identity must be Pakistan. He also referenced Chief of Army Staff Field Marshal Syed Asim Munir, who called for a national obligations movement alongside conversations surrounding rights. Unpacking the root cause of Balochistan's complex problems, the military spokesman pinpointed specific structural hurdles. First is elitism, where certain political and social elites believe power is their sole birthright, maintaining archaic feudal structures to keep ordinary citizens deprived of education and development. Second is the legacy of Sardarism, where specific tribal chiefs resist institutional reforms and view local forces like the levies as personal security guards rather than state law enforcement. Third is the rampant illegal economy, where criminal networks profit immensely from diesel smuggling, narcotics, and illicit trade, resorting to terrorism whenever the state clamps down on their illicit revenue streams. Fourth is the flawed history of appeasement, where militant groups historically expected talks after launching attacks. The military spokesperson reiterated that this era is permanently over. Finally, external interference plays a central role, with India actively backing terrorist outfits, while the Afghan Taliban regime offers safe havens across the border. The DG ISPR forcefully rejected the narrative that Balochistan is systematically neglected by the central state. He highlighted that Balochistan receives the highest per capita provincial budget allocation in the country, standing at over 75,000 rupees per person. The state continues to construct roads, hospitals, universities, and critical infrastructure. Conversely, terrorists deliberately target infrastructure, slaughtering innocent laborers, blowing up bridges, destroying schools, and damaging healthcare facilities, solely to block economic development and sustain their artificial narrative of regional deprivation. Addressing political representation, the DG ISPR noted that the same dominant political families have occupied parliamentary seats in Balochistan since the 1970s. He observed that democracy is praised when these specific groups win, but the moment they face electoral defeat, the system itself is maligned. On the sensitive topic of missing persons, official statistics from the relevant commission revealed that out of 10,901 total complaints received, 9,372 cases have been disposed of. A total of 4,896 individuals have safely returned home, 1,030 were located in prisons, 308 were found deceased, and around 2,400 complaints were declared false or misreported. Regarding Balochistan specifically, out of 2,933 complaints received, 2,767 cases have been resolved. The military spokesperson also clarified that several individuals listed as missing persons subsequently turned up dead on the battlefield, killed during active operational engagements while fighting alongside terrorist groups such as the BLA. The real target of terrorism inside Balochistan remains the civilian population and local infrastructure. Statistics for 2026 show that terrorists have killed 178 civilians and kidnapped 55 others in the province. They have launched 24 attacks on roads and bridges, carried out 60 arson attacks, committed 47 armed robberies, and mounted 105 targeted attacks on the police and levies. The military spokesman pointed out that terrorists record these brutal acts to manipulate social media, spread psychological fear, and fuel hostile propaganda. Exposing the information warfare landscape, the DG ISPR revealed that over 300 Indian-operated bogus websites and more than 1,000 coordinated social media accounts are actively waging cyber warfare against Pakistan. Platforms like Telegram are used to seed fake narratives, which are then amplified through bot networks picked up by Indian mainstream media and eventually reported by international news outlets. However, the military spokesperson expressed total confidence in Pakistan's youth to counter this digital aggression through skill, awareness, and truth. On active military operations, the armed forces alongside the Frontier Corps and police are carrying out joint actions including Operation Shaban, Operation Al-Azm, and Operation Ghazab al-Haq across Balochistan and to Afghanistan to dismantle terrorist networks. Concurrently, border management and repatriation efforts are proceeding strictly under law. Over 2.6 million illegal Afghan refugees have been repatriated, with approximately 600,000 returning during 2026. A strict visa-based international border movement policy is now fully enforced. boost. On the economic security front, the nationwide anti-smuggling campaign has yielded massive results across 2019 operations. Authorities have recovered 24.4 billion rupees worth of smuggled goods, seized 18 billion rupees in narcotics, and recovered 4.6 billion rupees tied to human trafficking networks. On governance, the DG ISPR reiterated that effective civilian administration is indispensable for security. The 14 points of the National Action Plan require operational political governance. Any administrative reset or political reform must be decided by leadership within the framework of the Constitution and the collective will of the public. During the interactive session, responding to questions on Azad Jammu and Kashmir, the military spokesman stated that the state has shown utmost restraint. Political processes and assembly elections will continue normally, and accountability will follow constitutional parameters, reinforcing Pakistan's principled posture. He declared that Kashmir remains the jugular vein of Pakistan and an unfinished agenda of partition. The Kashmiri people's right to self-determination remains Pakistan's permanent diplomatic policy. Concluding his address, the DG ISPR touched upon strategic foreign relations, affirming that Pakistan shares deep strategic bonds with Saudi Arabia, the custodian of the two holy mosques, while Pakistan acts as the guardian of the two holy mosques. He also emphasized strong bilateral relations with the UAE, dismissing social media speculation. On domestic discourse, he reaffirmed that the philosophy of martyrdom is the backbone of the armed forces and police, urging all public figures to respect the supreme sacrifices of the nation's fallen heroes who laid down their lives to protect the motherland. This was Trending Daily. See you in the next episode.